Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to yet another episode of the Gentleman's Club. I'm your host, Mark Antimate. In today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing the Italian design SEIKO watch by car designer Giorgetto Giugiaro, as it was seen in the 1986 film Aliens, directed by James Cameron. Now, part of the SEIKO Spirit Smart line of watches, reference number SEIKO-GIUGIARO, there are three things I'd like to say right off the bat about this watch. Number one, this is a Japanese domestic model watch, often referred to as JDM, meaning it's sold retail only in Japan. But with the advent of the internet, of course, they have been and are being sold all over the world. Number two is with them being sold all over the world and with them being sold for the past year, I don't know how many are left because it is a limited edition watch. I believe they are all sold out in watch retailers and outlets in Japan, with you only being able to obtain one from a second-hand dealer. Only 3,000 have been produced, so as time goes on, they will become harder and harder to obtain. Number three is although this is a limited edition watch, it's also a reissue. So there is the original still floating around out there in the real world from 1983, which is also hard to find and valued at about a good $1,000 or more these days in 2017 if you want one. Actually, although the retail value for this reissue is 32,000 yen plus tax, I paid 35,000 yen for mine used in Japan. I'm seeing some websites such as one called shoppinginjapan.net offering it up new at a whopping price of $844 US, which is clearly double the price. I do see the price of even this limited edition reissue going up, but of course it will never be worth as much as the original. During this review, I will often compare the original with the reissue. So to start knowing how to differentiate between the two, let's learn a bit about both. And just as with my review of the SEIKO SCED035 watch, I'm going to break up this review into three parts. First, we are going to discuss the specifications. Second, I'll talk about the things I don't like. Finally, I'll end with the things I do like. So if you could take a look here at the comparison chart, you could see that in 1983, SEIKO also released two different color variants of this watch, the 7828-7000 and the 7828-7009, with the former being gray and the later being black. The late 2015 re-release of this watch also sees the same two colors return with the SCED035, which is the gray version, and the SCED037, which is the black version, but there are also three more colors included. The difference between the 1983 and 2015 watch are many. The original is a caliber 7A 2/8 quartz chronograph, while the reissue is a 7T 12 caliber movement. On the original dial, all the text should read SEIKO Quartz Chronograph Sports 100, with the word chronograph written in cursive script. Also on the original dial, there is no date window, which is a new addition to the reissue. The reissue only has SEIKO chronograph written on the dial in a sans and serif font. Also on the original, you'll notice that the crown is at the 8 o'clock position, whereas the crown on the reissue is right underneath the long signature block at the 3 o'clock position. The original also has an extra pusher located at the 10 o'clock position, which is not located on the reissue. Lastly, the coloring looks a bit more metallic on the original than the reissue. The paint on the reissue might give it a plastic looking feel, but trust me when I tell you it's actually stainless steel. Along with the standard gray and black 2015 reissue, there are also three additional special colors released, which are reference numbers SCED039, SCED041, and SCED043. While gray and black cannot be obtained retail anymore, these three still can be. I spotted them in a store in Japan as late as April 2017 for the regular asking price. but I think collectors are only after the limited edition Aliens colorways though. Keeping this review short and sweet and to the point, now I'm going to talk about the things I don't like. The biggest thing I don't like are the cheap plastic pushers on the rectangle block on the right hand side. As you can see from the video, the pushers are flimsy. I wish they were made out of a more premium material, and I wish them to be more sturdy. This is more of an annoyance to the owner and the wearer of the watch than to any observers looking at your watch on your wrist. They won't notice there's a problem unless you tell them. The second and final thing is, I don't like the matte gray paint very much. I like that it resembles the original, but it doesn't entirely. The paint gives the bracelet a plastic appearance even though it is stainless steel. Now the things I do like. Because of the designer, I can guarantee you'll never find or see another watch like this anywhere else on the planet. This is a wholly new, original implemented design that begs for attention. My co-workers in my office easily noticed the standout qualities about my watch and made verbal mention of it. The addition of the date window, although very small, I'm happy to have it included. And the limited availability of the watch, with only 3,000 being produced and me owning number 441, I feel like I'm in an exclusive club that not everyone can buy into. Even if you have the financial means, which may not be hard to come by, at up to $800, you'd still have to find someone willing to sell. They'll cycle around a bit, but I feel once they fall into the right hands like mine, people who cherish it will be less inclined to sell. It's such an iconic watch, and I don't see me ever parting ways with it unless someone made me an offer I can't refuse. And being an iconic prop of motion picture history, with the female protagonist Ripley in Aliens wearing it, it eternally leaves its mark. This concludes the end of this review. SEIKO x GIUGIARO Designs SEIKO Spirit Smart SCED035 watch. I thank you all for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Gentlemen and advertisers, I'd like to notify you that I signed up for Patreon today and am looking for support, no matter how small, for my viewers. I'm trying to have more control over what I do and creative options, but it isn't cheap. The camera I used to shoot this video with costs $1,000 US. A decent quality lens to go with it is another $500. The SM7B broadcasting microphone I'm using to narrate this video costs $700. As you can see, production and the things needed to provide quality videos aren't cheap. Help me to help bring you better content by sponsoring me. I'll always make certain your reward matches your contribution. Again, thank you for your support and for getting the channel to 800 subscribers in a year. See you next time, and as always, keep it classy.